Hello everybody. So in this video I'm going to talk about how I did the conversion rate optimization for a company that's mine also called Rio Visitors Wi-Fi. It's a Wi-Fi network available in public areas of Rio de Janeiro's tourist areas. And even though it's public, it's a paid Wi-Fi. So the company was trying to make money from selling Wi-Fi access. So whether it was a day pass, weekly or monthly, we needed customers who would be willing to pay with their credit card, get an access code, and then so they could use it around Rio de Janeiro's. Outside by the beach, close to tourist attractions, nightlife, some of the most popular restaurants, also outside the restaurants. Sometimes these places didn't have their own Wi-Fi. So this would be a solution, especially for tourists who didn't want to get or don't want to get a SIM card. And getting a SIM card in Brazil is a little complicated because you have to have either bring your passport, and it usually takes an hour and a half. So a lot of people are dissuaded from that. So this is how we went about coming up with a landing page for when you're accessing. When you're out on the streets, you see an open network, a Wi-Fi network, and you want to access a free public Wi-Fi. Usually when you click on, this is a system, and when you see an open, without the padlock, an open network, when you click on it, you get a landing page called Garden, and on that page, it explains that you can either insert the voucher code or you can buy a voucher, and you could buy the 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month voucher. So, without further ado, this is a landing page, right? So as soon as you get to the Wi-Fi network, you're given 3 choices. The more popular languages for tourists in Rio de Janeiro are Portuguese, the Brazilian tourists, national tourists, and foreigners are as either English or Spanish, right? And over here, if you do have a code, you can insert it here. Once the user would click on any of these, it would go to a split testing script that would send customers either to page A or page B. So this is what page A look like. There it is, as you can see along the top over here. That's page A, and page B was the other page. So this was a test page, and this was a control page. A was a control page. So a couple of insights from what we learned over the last 3 years, and from these insights, we were able to multiply by 14 our conversion rates. We were converting at 1 out of 200. Now we're converting at 7%. In other words, 14 times what the designers who came up with this. They were a professional design firm designed this landing page, the original landing page 3 years ago. And since then, we've been able to improve on what they thought would be a good selling sales page, right? So the first thing we tested, and one of the things, I'm just going to go over everything, and I can't remember exactly what the sequence was, but let's go looking at this page. One thing we did discover was that for English-speaking tourists, avoid staying offline was a better and more effective headline than this. Then here we go. It was fun because this worked differently for the Spanish market, for the Spanish-speaking market. Here in the Spanish-speaking market, we figured out that this sells better. It says connect in 15 seconds and get online in 15 seconds and stay connected around Rio. That sold better for the Spanish market, while for the American and British market, English-speaking market, was avoid staying offline during your trip. And we tested these two against each other, which translated this to English and this also to Spanish. And this didn't test well in Spanish, but this tested very well in English, better than staying connected. So the fear of staying offline kind of more desire was a bigger fear, I guess, for the English-speaking market, where the ability to stay connected within 15 seconds kind of worked better for the Spanish market. The second thing, one of the other things that we did test was putting the map. Over here is a map of our tourist, the coverage of the Wi-Fi. So this purple area is, for instance, Copacabana, it's along the beach. On Ipanema, it's along the beach, and some of these inside streets over here. Alemi is another area, beach area, and so on. So this map we tested, having it down here, right in this area, right below the purchase options, and that didn't test so well. Apparently, the map was a little heavy, and it was very detailed. It was a JPEG, maybe 300 kilobytes, but somehow this page is very light, and we worked hard to make it very light and very fast loading, because sometimes people would be accessing Wi-Fi far away from the antenna. So it's more than 700 feet away from the antenna, which is pretty far, but our Wi-Fi antennas are pretty strong. But if they are at the edge or at the borderline of our coverage, then the Wi-Fi would be a little slow. So 300K could slow down the page a lot, and things wouldn't show up properly, so in time, and that might dissuade them from buying, right? So we kind of figured out that if we move this to an extra page, then those who are interested in finding out about the coverage, they could click and not have to wait while this first page, loaded up. Another thing we tested was different prices. We tested a lot. These different prices, 5 hours, 7 days, 30 days. For a long time, we were doing 1 day versus 7 days or 30 days, right? These three packages. And then recently, we kind of stumbled or tested 5 hours instead of 1 day. So if they buy the 5 hours, they'll still get a one day voucher, even though we were promising just 5 hours. And what's funny is that a lot of people, we made more sales promising 5 hours for the same price as 1 day, which is shocking, right? Because you'd be getting 5 times more, right? 5 times more usage out of the Wi-Fi network for the same amount of money, and 5 hours tested more, tested better. So that was a little shocking. We tested a few things like price points, for instance, $9.99. We did $11.99 also. We did 15 over here for the 7 day. We did 15, we did 17, we did 20 and 25. And for 7 day, the $19 or $20, right? $20 price tag. Tested better, the 5 hours, and 1 day it was the $9 instead of $10 or $8 or 12. And the 30 day was funny because we're still testing that, and both of these are selling at the same profit, not the same rate, but the same profit. So this one sells a little more, 40 sells a little more than 60, but in the end, since the profits from this Wi-Fi network are maybe 95% profits, because it's a digital service that we're offering, the 60, in the end, 60 is more profitable to the company than the 40, even though this is selling slightly more. So that was another thing that we discovered. Another interesting thing we discovered was this. Here, for a long time, we had the ability for the user or the customer to pay with credit card or to pay with PayPal. And we had these two buttons over here. So instead of just credit card, we had credit card and then PayPal. And same here, and all these options, right? And what was funny is that even though when we had credit card and PayPal, 2/3 of customers would pay with credit card, 1/3 with PayPal. Once we removed PayPal, we sold more as a whole. So we made more sales just by allowing people just to pay with one system than with two. I guess, Maybe it was causing a little analysis paralysis or something that for some reason people would get a little confused and maybe not want. If for some reason they wouldn't buy. Having more payment options got in the way, which is shocking, and this is the reason why we really need to test out everything on the landing page, because it's always surprises. If I had asked any web marketer whether having one payment method or two payment methods, which one would be best, all of them would have said two payment methods. And then we did a test for it lasted a month, and one payment method tested better. Let's see, what else did we test over here? We didn't test, but we kind of removed the need for address, because we don't need it. They're buying Wi-Fi. We're not going to send them anything. There's no need, So if we went with the minimum that Stripe requires to process a credit card, that also improved sales a little bit, but that wasn't really a split test. We tested these images over here that kind of convey trust. SSL Secure, McAfee, and these Visa logos and these credit card logos did improve sales. Let's see what else. This character helped a lot. This was something that was shocking, not shocking, but surprising. It was just nice, because we tested with I have a Maltese dog, so we photographed him, put him up here. It was a photograph of a dog, of a very white dog, very hairy white dog. And this character, this tourist illustration, did actually better than no character or the dog character or mascot, right? Or this character here. This also helped a lot, right? Which was a promise that if you get disconnected for over a minute, we'll refund your purchase. So this promise also helped. It was a guarantee, a refund guarantee. So we tested this versus without, this at one point we didn't have this on the B page. Another thing that helped a lot was adding the frequently asked questions section over here. A lot of questions that people have regarding the speed or coverage, or can they share? This helped and we did test having this open, so when people landed on this page, this would be open. This didn't test so well as having it closed and available. So people, when they click here, it doesn't take them to another page. It just opens up. It doesn't make the landing page, the sales page, super long. Having a super long sales page, we found out over time that it would keep people from buying. It's a simple process that shouldn't look complicated, and a long page makes it look complicated. Same thing here for authorized stores. Same thing. Adding these helped a lot, because if people are buying online, they don't need to go to a store. They can buy it right here. But showing that we have distribution through partner stores, that helped convey trust, and this certainly helped with sales. So we tested this also with adding the authorized stores list versus without, and then this also helped a lot. Status of the network, 100%, live antennas 183, connected devices 13. This is static, but it's usually around these numbers anyway. We have over 180 antennas. They're up 99.9% of the time, and connected devices. This number can change according to the time of day, but it's usually around that. And then also this helped. We tested this. We tested just adding an email versus email and WhatsApp. People felt that they could connect, and if they didn't get, if for somehow it didn't work, they could contact customer support. And then also being able to switch over here. This was, I don't think many people use this. They don't switch from the English to the Spanish, but they could, so it was an option for them. So Oh, we also tested blue, making this, instead of pink, we tested blue. And pink did better. Lord knows why, but it does. And so right now we're testing, the only test that we're doing this week is the 39 versus 59. And so far, 59 is winning, but we need a little bit more time so we can feel confidence in the results before we declare that 59 is the winner for the prize for the 1 month Wi-Fi access. So that sums up our thought process in conversion rate optimization for Rio Visitors Wi-Fi. Thank you.